Welcome to Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff. This is the place to come for news you can use to get things done. Everybody knows that too much stuff is clutter, and cleaning it makes you neater and tidier. To us, it is a life management tool that helps you navigate your next steps. This is what my book, Lighten Up, Free Yourself from Clutter, is all about. As baby boomers, we have a lot in front of us that is confounding and confronting, so we sweep things under the carpet and put them off another day or forever. That is clutter because it keeps us stuck, and my new book addresses all of that. So we're going to bring experts, authors, and authorities here to talk with us about health, relationships, technology, finance, housing. What are you going to do next in life? Passing down your life stories, and even the challenges of making final arrangements. Here we aim to learn, open new possibilities, choose, take action, and create a legacy, not a mess. So let's get started. Try as you might. The years are flying by. The bags and boxes of print photos from your parents' past, your childhood, and your children's infancy onward may be collecting dust and maybe even molds. While your intentions may be good, you just don't seem to be getting around to dealing with all those photos. Your kids will never know who's in the photos and who remembers when it was and what you were doing at the time they were taken. Add to that the literally thousands of photos that you're filling your photo gallery on your phone and computer. Who can even begin to understand how to organize it all? If you want to pull out your hair and cry for help, and if you're listening today, you've come to the right place. Our guest today is Tavener McKell. She's the owner of Memory Lane Designs. And for more than 15 years, she's been one of a growing number of professionals across the U.S. and around the world who are photo managers. If there ever was a human lifeline to save us from losing one of our most valuable assets, our photos, it's a photo manager. And Tavener's going to familiarize us with this beneficial resource. Welcome, Tavener.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. It's great to see you. A photo manager is a relatively new profession, isn't it? Tell us what it is.
That is accurate. A photo manager is the photo managers is a group of about 1,000 people who love preserving photos, love technology, love teaching. They all kind of have the same characteristics. And they are a group of people who get certified, go through training, and then they are available to the public to help with saving your photos, preserving them, organizing them, turning them into photo gifts or a photo book.
Holiday cards, maybe?
I'm sorry. Calendars, everything like that. We offer just about everything you can imagine.
So when do you know it's time to hire somebody and not try to, I'm losing my hearing here. When do you know it's time to hire a photo manager?
I think if you sit down to begin your project and it just becomes way too overwhelming, or if it sits there for 6 months and nothing gets done, reach out to a photo manager. There are at least 700 in the United States. There are plenty of other countries that are members of this group. And you can find somebody locally, or in my case, I have clients all over the country. So reach out. It could be just a phone call, a question that you have. For example, how do I get a photo out of a sticky album? We've got lots of tricks and tips that we can tell you about, so you don't destroy your photos. Or if you want somebody to just come over, and in my case, I have lots of clients who have just handed me boxes and boxes of photos and said, I don't want to deal with this. I don't know what to do. I'm not technologically savvy. So take all of these and do something with it special. Turn it into a photo book of the best photos.
Yeah, who doesn't want to just turn all that mess over to somebody else?
Exactly.
Is it going to break my bank to hire somebody to do that? And how long does it take?
Well, it really depends on the project. I've had projects that last a year when a client hands me 50,000 photos, but that's only like half the year. And I need to scan them or organize them or get rid of duplicates. Most projects take about 3 weeks, would be an average amount of time. And it just depends on how many photos you have and what condition they're in.
Do most people give you, are they trying to do something with print photos? Or are they trying to do something with photos that they have on their phones and in their computers?
I'd say it's about 50-50. Lately, I've had a lot of printed photo projects. An example of a digital, I have several clients who hire me to monitor their photo collections through Google Photos or Apple Photos all year long.
Wow.
And at the end of each year, they want a beautiful book, the year in review. And usually those are clients with kids so that you can see how they've grown and what they've participated in. So that would be an annual project. Others just say, I need you to organize my digital photos. And I've had clients that are in a different part of the world and they just want me to go in and put dates with their photos and organize them by year.
So most of the people that you're working with on a remote basis, you're working with digital photos. Is that correct?
Correct. Right.
Okay.
Or they send them to me in a box with a UPS tracking number. That makes me a little nervous, but if it's somebody that I can just be right on top of looking for the box versus sending a box out to a different company, then, that's how they get to me.
So going back to the question of cost, how do you pay by the hour? Do you pay by the project? What can somebody expect when they call a photo manager? Does it range? What's the range?
It really ranges so much. If they want like a really nice, very fancy book with glass panel on top, that can be in the thousands of dollars, or a regular photo book that's 100 pages or 50 pages, front and back can hold, it just, some clients.
Pages is a lot of pages for an
right. It really is. I just did one yesterday. That is. I just did one yesterday. So, it can be simple or it can be very complex. And it just is a matter of sitting down with the client and saying, what are your goals? What do you want to do with your photos once they're organized? And then if photo books come up, then I've got examples to show them of, if they want to do it themselves, they can easily go to Shutterfly or, another place, Mixbook.
But they were talking about having a photo manager do it. Do you have any examples there of what a photo looks like?
I only use professional printers that aren't available to the public, only professional photographers. And you can see the thickness of the page is just beautiful.
So there's no more plastic, putting printed photos under plastic. These are actually, as if you're reading a book or a magazine, they're photo books. I love the idea of a photo book because
here's one
you're sitting at the dinner table with guests you want to share at a vacation that you took last year with your grandkids. You're not going to take out your computer.
No.
And I love the idea that these photo books can be uniformly sized, so that if you're doing it on a yearly basis, you can almost have a like-sized library of these photos from year to year. And
actually,
I love the idea you could duplicate them. If you have 5 kids, 4 kids, 3 kids, and a couple of grandparents, everybody can get a copy of that book. So you have to consider when you're thinking of the cost of a photo manager that you're duplicating these books, maybe however many times as you need it to give it to the people who are in your family or close friends who participated in that activity.
That's very true.
I love that. So if you don't have children, is it important to still have albums? I mean, you're not
absolutely
pass things down from generation to generation because
absolutely.
So
I've done so many books on pets, and that's kind of how I got started myself. I'm an animal lover. So when you lose a pet, you've got all these pictures. What do you do with them? I couldn't throw them away. I couldn't really look at them because they made me so sad right after it happened. So I thought, I bet somebody could make a beautiful photo book and I wouldn't have to go through all of the pain of picking out the pictures. If I could just say, here, I want to remember this, my cat, and it's a simple book. It's not going to be, $500 or anything like that. I couldn't find anybody that does anything like that. So that's kind of how I got started learning how to do photo books. And you've got to have software, you've got to have technology knowledge, you've got to have skills and know how to crop the picture in order to
you have to have not only technological skills but creative skills. So
creative,
it takes
right?
a lot of skills to create those albums, which is probably a good reason why people don't do it in the first place. So,
exactly. 70% studies were done. 70% start their photo book and don't finish it because it can be so complicated and the software will crash right in the middle of what you're doing and then you have to start all over. Photo managers have software that doesn't crash. We do so many books a day or a year that we just can do it quickly. It's just a matter of skill that we've honed in on. And we've got all of the updated AI software that we can use to get rid of duplicates or improve lighting or shadows on the pictures. And that makes a huge
tricks
difference.
of the trade.
That's right.
If I want to find a photo manager, I go, okay, I surrender. If it's not going to get done. If somebody doesn't help me do it, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to find myself a photo manager. How do I find a photo manager?
You find them by going to thephotomanagers.com. And then from there, you say, find a photo manager, click on that. And then you can sort it by either your city or state or your goal. Some people specialize in photo books like I do. Some people specialize in ancestry. And so they will do a whole family book and do research with you to find your ancestors. Right. Wow. And then, there are so many different things you can do with photos that help you preserve them and help you enjoy them rather than just them sitting in your computer and you never looking at them again.
Yeah, I was thinking, I think people are more likely to lose their histories in this day and age than in the day and age when you would print photos. Because at least if you forgot to label a photo in the past and it was a print photo, you still had the photo. But, the chances are somebody's going to have access to your computer and your phone where all your photos are, that's so much easier to get lost. So the whole idea of, you can't wait until you're going to take care of your grandparents' photos. Your mother, you have to take care of your photos. Otherwise, they're going to get lost along with and gone with your phone and computer when you die. So it almost behooves you to do something now rather than later.
Absolutely. You can't count on a cloud service like Apple Photos or Google or Flickr to always be there. Even though they say they will, you can't count on that because every single year somebody goes out of business. Or Google just announced that if you haven't logged into your account in a certain number of times, they're going to delete all your photos. So it's best, it's best to have a backup, keep a whole copy of all of your photos in the cloud, keep your whole collection on a hard drive. And then if you have printed photos, keep them as well in archival boxes so that you've got 3 places where your photos are stored. And it's important to update your hard drive about every 5 to 8 years because those don't last forever either.
I would imagine that with the technology changing the way it is, are hard drives going to go out of fashion, or what's the next?
I would expect
in terms of storage.
There's no telling what we're going to be dealing with in 5 years. Everything changes so fast, and that's one of the main benefits of having a photo manager, because our job is to keep up with every single new development, whether it be security, and that's a real big issue right now. How are these companies using photos of your kids or you? And it's been discovered that some companies aren't all that honest, and they're using pictures of you and your kids and everything else to build their AI systems or whatever. So we stay in the know, and we know what companies to use, which companies to avoid, how to keep them safe, and those kind of things.
For those of you who are just tuning in right now, we're talking about a photo manager, which is a whole new profession in the digital age. Somebody who is going to help you preserve your memory in the moment. Don't wait until the next generation passes away and you go through their boxes and that they've stored in the attic. You have to do something sooner rather than later to preserve that legacy. How do you so the way to prevent these companies going out of business and taking your photos with them, you want to have your own backup drive and your own cloud, and then having making albums as you go through life, not waiting until the end of life or the next generation to do your documentation for you. It's more imperative now than ever before, it seems, Tavener, to keep up with your albums, photos, and documentation.
It can get overwhelming so quick because we take 10,000 photos, a day or a year, or some people really do take. I have one client that takes about 30,000 pictures a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, and some people take one picture a month. So it's very different. Different clients have different needs, but a photo manager can scan pictures for you the correct way. You can send them off to companies, but they're not going to label each scan in a digital format. They're just going to scan and return the mess.
Uh-huh. Yes, the labeling of those is important.
It's very important. Before a picture,
Tavener, what things? If I say, okay, I'm not going to do this all by my own, but there are some things that I can do to be a better client to my photo manager. Well, how can I prepare in advance for the photo manager?
That's a great question. If you are dealing mostly with printed photos, if you can sort them by year or decade before you hand them over, that is a huge help. If you can note your top favorites in each year, that's another big, huge help, because that way we'll know which ones to definitely include if we're going to do photo books or gifts or things like that. If you're dealing with digital photos, it's very critical that you are able to gather all of the devices in one place. Your USB drives, your thumb drives, your discs, everything that you have photos on goes in one place. And then from there, you can either hand it over to your photo manager, we'll pull the photos off those devices, or you can download all those photos onto a hard drive and then hand that to your photo manager.
So while technology is supposed to make our life simpler, in the worlds of photos, in some ways it sounds like it's made it more complex, and it puts more of the onus on you to do something as you move through life than in the past. So it's more complicated than
it can be. Photos. For sure. There are so many software programs that help me do what I do, and each one of them can be pretty expensive. So instead of the client having to buy deduplication software that gets rid of all your duplicates, or Photoshop to make the pictures bright enough to be printed, all those things, a scanning machine that's professional level, photo managers have. So you don't have to spend the money on all of that other stuff, and you know it's going to get done correctly.
Tell me about, let's say 2 or 3 different scenarios that you have with clients. Like, I've heard you say you go into their photo you go into their have access to where their photos are and take over. Can you tell me a little bit about the different characteristics of clients that you have?
Busy people, usually busy moms. We're all busy these days. It doesn't have to be a mom. It's just busy in general. And they feel like, I don't know what to do with this. So they will give me access to their Apple photos or their Google photos, wherever their hub is. And then I go in and I get rid of all the duplicates, organize them by year, month, day, and then we'll do something with them. And it is a matter of
when you finish, you get the album, plus you give them some kind of USB or flash drive. Or do you give them?
Absolutely. Yeah. I give them both a USB of their photo book and all the pictures, all organized on the USB by year. I also give them a little video that they can put on if they want to show it on Facebook or, wherever they want to, if they're a social media person. I do that often if it's somebody who's got kids and they just want a quick 1 minute. So it's the photo book flipping pages, and it's really special to go back and revisit. They love that. The parents do. I also do books for corporations. So if a corporate company has like for one example, a company hired me to make a book of all the employees of the month. And this went back 10 years. So it was tons of, employees, and they got their picture in the book. Another example is artists. They will have me make pictures or take pictures and make a beautiful book that they can lay on the table in front of their clients while their clients are waiting for their services or picking up. Furniture is one that I did. Jewelry is another.
It's maybe a good way to do your home inventory. So there's lots of reasons.
Right. So many.
To put a photo manager on your decluttering support team. So we've only scratched the surface here today. So if you want to find out more about what a photo manager is and what they can do for you, you can go to Tavener's website at www.memorylanedesigns.com. There's also the organization to which she belongs, in which there's thousands of other professionals like her, called thephotomanagers.com. So decluttering your photos, don't lose your family history, pass down your story from generation to generation, and more of the onus is on you to get started now while you're alive and well and still creating great memories, to begin documenting that so you can make duplicates of everything and pass it along to all the kids and family members so they know where they came from. It's so important. Thank you so much, Tavener, for being here today.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
We learned a lot, and I appreciate that.
Sure. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, bye now. Well, that's all we have time for today. So let's wrap things up with a request that you go to our website, www.decluttering55plus.com, and click on the Let's Connect button. Share your thoughts, insights, and tell us the lessons you've learned. If you're facing challenges or celebrating triumphs on your decluttering journey, we want to hear from you. Connect with us on social media. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Let us know you're part of our community by rating and reviewing us from wherever you're listening from today. And don't forget, invite your friends and family, young and old, to tune in too. Let's include them in the conversation. The more, the merrier. Thanks for being with us today. And until next time, this is Decluttering 55 Plus with Michelle Passoff, wishing you a clutter-free day.